Hello, I'm Lizzie. I'm bringing along different festive folds which I hope can inspire you for some cosy self-care time at home, doing something really lovely to bring a bit of decoration and to just lift your mood. Maybe do it definitely for yourself. And you might even find yourself wanting to make something special to send to loved ones as well. I thought this is quite nice because it's flat, so you could actually potentially post this. So it's a wreath. I thought you could make your own wreath. And obviously I've made a rather small one here, but you can make it as large as you want. I'll be showing you how to do that. So this is all through Origami. This is quite a nice simple one actually, so it's quite simple. It's made of 8 little pieces, and I happen to have used some nice red and white paper which actually has a white on the back. But actually, if you have anything like wrapping paper, so for example I'm thinking about any sort of festive paper you could use and cut squares, and it will be white underneath, so actually you'll get that same nice effect. So I'm going to show you just with quite plain paper so you can see how to do that. But as mentioned, have a think whether you've got any nice festive wrapping paper and you could make your own wreath. You could also add a little bow, hang it up, post it, add extra decorations. I hope you'll enjoy this. It's without any glue, so it's what's called modular origami, where little pieces plug into the others, so it's quite satisfying to do. It's like a lovely, beautiful ring, so it will all come together, hopefully. So grab yourself something to press on and some paper. So just so I can show you, I'm doing it in pale colours just because you can see what I'm doing better. So I'm going to use white and I'm going to use some green, pale green, and they're obviously the same colour on each side, but as I said, if you have wrapping paper it's better because you'll have some white on the back. So you could maybe cut yourself a square first of all, and then after that make them out of the wrapping paper. So we need 8 pieces, so I'm going to show you just from my own just folding and tearing. So I'm going to fold this in half. Your wreath will end up about double the width of one of the squares that we're going to make. So we're going to make 8 squares that are the same. So I've simply folded this in half, and I'm going to do a little nick there and tear along there. And this sort of modular origami I find very relaxing. So you've got these little pieces that plug together. It's a lovely little pattern that you end up doing. So I'm going to, since we've got a nice lot of paper here, we're going to make 4 green and 4 white. So to make a square, taking a corner again, lining it up. And these films may be something that you just watch, give yourself a little bit of soothing care that way, or join me and have a go at making. Maybe it's something you are doing by yourself, or if you're at home with others, maybe it's something to do together. It's a bit of a challenge. That's it, so just lining it up, and each time tearing it. And actually how I've already got it as a triangle would be useful. So that's one. Next one. Folding it over. And as I said, there is a certain amount of repetition in this, but I think that's also what's soothing. And things like knitting as well obviously involves that repetitive sort of action. It's interesting to hear about with knitting that it used to be men as well, because we think of it as very much a female activity, but apparently men in the Navy used to knit to make things for their loved ones who are while they're away at sea. And in a way we're all a little bit like that, aren't we? We're from the ones often that we love. And so actually if you could make something special, maybe it's a way of something that's you've been close to, you've made, and then you can send. Again, I'm just, so it's a little bit of a process. I hope you don't mind, but I'm thinking of you, that you might be accompanying me, so keen that we do this together rather than here's one I made earlier. It's about the process and enjoying that. Here we go, one more. We've done the green, then onto the white. So So yeah, you could also decorate it, hang it with ribbons. Maybe you might find some holly. I don't know. Maybe you could draw your own and cut that out and put that on as well. Wow, this is quite unusual paper actually. Start to notice these things when you tear. Right, so I've done 4 there. I'm going to do the same here because they're all A4. I know that they can all end up matching, so I'm simply folding this in half. So all we're using is, well, less than 2 pieces of paper. It'll be a reasonable size wreath, and there's not too many folds. Whoops, there we go. You definitely need to tear with it on a flat surface. So lining it up. Definitely good sharp folds. Again, I'm folding back. And this is all just about slowing yourself down, focusing on something else. And that way you really do give yourself a break. We spend too much time thinking about things, and doing something physical I think really does help. You're getting back a bit of control over things, and you're just giving yourself that time and that care. Get focused. Yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge. I think that's important actually. That helps focus the mind. There we go. Right, only 2 more squares. Some of the modular things I've done have been huge. I've made like a massive star, which is something different from this, which is around 270 pieces. So super patience. But I think we gain a lot when we encourage ourselves to be patient. I think often we want things to be done immediately. Slowing yourself down and encouraging yourself to be patient is good for your well-being. And I don't know about you, but I like relaxing through doing something. I find it hard not to be doing something. I think a lot of us are like that. Meditation, a very good thing, but whether you're able to settle to that. I don't myself naturally. I naturally want to do things, so I find this very good. Going for walks and runs, keeping yourself physically active as well. This is certainly a good one for your mental activity. Right, so I've got 4 green, 4 white, and so what to do next? So we're going to take one of these, which is already folded over. It's a square that's been folded over. And what we're going to do is take a side and fold it in a straight line, like so, which I'm finding now is quite hard to do into the camera. That's it. Can you see? And it needs to go nice and crisply through that edge, through that point, which, as I said, I'm not funny easy, so I think I'm going to put it down now. That way I can do it much more easily. As I said, it's easier on a solid surface, so please do that yourself as well. I attempt to say hello at the same time, but there we go. So it was that triangle that you had. You took one side and folded it down. That's it. And next one. Again. So there's a nice repetitive action. We're doing exactly the same thing on all 8 pieces. Again, take your time and care to really line everything up. There's no hurry in this. It's not about finishing it. It's about just enjoying this process. The lovely magic of patterns, which I find myself very soothing. I hope you are too. That's it. There's really not too many folds for this. Thought I'd bring you a simple one. With time I've challenged myself and I do more and more complex ones, but definitely not one to start with. Keep it simple first of all. But you'll find if you do get into it, the possibilities really are endless. That's what makes it rather exciting. And it's based on a real culture of kindness origami, that people have made discoveries and passed them on. It's all about teaching, and actually people wouldn't have made their discoveries unless other people hadn't taught them. It's culture. We don't learn in isolation. We learn from each other, and then we try and help others. What a wonderful thing that is. Again, just lining it up. Hopefully you're doing this along with me, or maybe just watching. There we go. Like so. So we've done that on just that one side. So next step, which is pretty much the final step actually, is to turn over to the back and take this corner, and we're going to bring it up to the top. So we're going to bring it up like so, and that is enough to produce a little pocket which we will be able to use to create this circle. It's amazing. It's real construction. So that's what we're doing each time. So we're taking a piece, turning it to the back, taking this corner and folding it up. And again, take your time to make sure it's right. That's right, giving it a strong fold. Next one, as it is, turn it to the back, take the side, fold it up, like so. We're almost there. Then we're going to have the fun of putting it together. Okay, turn it to the back, take the side, the corner, and bring it up to the top. There we go. So I've done the green ones, down to the white. But as I said, I reckon if you've got any festive wrapping paper, this would be really good. So, turn it to the back, take the corner and fold up to the top. So it's called candy cane, which is obviously thinking of American wreaths. But one time been to the US a couple of times at Christmas. So beautiful. The decorations are great. Went to Boston. I just remember these beautiful doors and really beautiful wreaths that people would make, put on their doors. Kind of quite old-fashioned looking actually. Really nice. Not just the kind of the glitter, but that really beautifully made decorations. Turning it to the back. These are the kind of things you don't hear on the news. Just the little things that we do. So that's it. How to assemble it now. So this is one piece, and this is a pocket that we're going to use. Right, I'm going to think how to do this myself. So turn it round this way, and I'm going to get a green. So you've got this pocket here, and I'm going to push this one into there. So can you see I had it the same way round, and then I tilted it round, and I'm going to push it into there. Now I do tend to find it quite good to actually open up that back flap as I put it in, because otherwise it's quite hard to get it in. But I'm pushing it in so it's firm, and then you can push that back. Can you see it's just beginning to form this? So next one. So again, make sure I've got it the right way around. So it looks like that. Tilt it round, and this will match up there. So again, I tend to slightly undo the back flap because that helps it go in. And it should be quite a nice little snug fit. That's it. Can you see the shape of it's forming already? And if you have this as the white paper on the back, as in wrapping paper, then that should work. Again, you have it the same. Tilt it to the side, which is slowly going around that circle. Again, I find slightly undoing the back there. But I think because this is so physical, it's all about understanding what you're doing as well. It really is It's the engineering side, but it's so satisfying when you've got it because it's a bit of a challenge. That's it. Next one. Looks like a bit of a snake at the moment, but it is working. Again, I'm slipping one into the other, opening up a bit at the back. Like so. Almost there. Again, looks the same. And slightly tilting it. Pushing it in. Okay, taking your time. I'm having to take my time, so do it carefully. Next one, white one, and then we'll see how this is all coming together. Again, looks the same, tilting it round, pushing one into the other. It's all quite satisfying, I think. Hope you'll find that. And then a final one. Again, same way around, tilt it a bit. And pushing it in. So this is all very much about patience, and I know it's taking time, but that is the point. I'm trying to encourage you to give yourself time for self-care. That does mean I am now going to put my camera down a bit so I have been tucking in as I go along. There we go. Some of them might have slipped out, so you can always pop any back in. They've flipped around. And that one's coming out a bit. Partly in the assembly, and then you can, once you've got them all roughly in place, you can line them up. Because it sort of holds it in place once it's back in position, she says. Come on. Hopefully then you've got one final one to slip in there, which should all make perfect sense eventually. As I said, it involves patience. I'm having to be patient with myself. I think it's often when we give up we get frustrated, but you get so much satisfaction from persistence. There we go. So you can see, could play with this a bit more to get absolutely right. I mean, you could glue pieces in, but it's quite fun if you've managed to do it without. So this is one assembled into a camera. No excuses. But basically a wreath. So I hope it's worked for you. That needs a bit of tucking in, doesn't it? I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll be sharing some other folds. Obviously this is a more complex one because there's 8 pieces to it, but I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've been able to make a wreath for yourself. Thank you.